If you want to be successful in safety, one of the most important things you can do is get buy-in from your boss. Get buy-in from the leadership, get buy-in from the upper management. In this video, I want to tell you 3 different ways, 3 tactics that you can use to get your boss and his boss and her boss to buy into safety. Let's check it out. Okay guys, before we dive into the video, don't forget, if you haven't already, go to my website, Help with OSHA, download a free OSHA audit checklist. This is the best way to prepare your team for an unexpected OSHA visit. It's quick, it's efficient, it's free. Do it today. Go download it right now. It's an easy form to download and it will help you get prepared for that audit. It's coming. It might not be today, but it's coming. So you want to be prepared for it. All right, so let's talk about buy-in. Now, as a safety consultant, I get to see all kinds of companies. And I see companies where they are totally bought into the idea of safety management. I see other companies where they aren't bought in at all. And one thing I've learned is, as bad as it sounds, you can't start from the bottom and work your way up, right? You can't get buy-in from the bottom and work your way up. A lot of people try to do it, it doesn't work. They want to work with the guys on the floor and get them to buy in to safety and management and training programs. And that is a great thing for them to be bought into it, for them to feel like they own it and they want it, but it's never going to happen unless it becomes somebody in management sees value in it. So you've got to get the people in management to see value. So how do you do that? Well, I was in a training just this past week and the instructor talked about a term called WIIFM. Now, I had never heard this before. I don't know if he invented it, if it's been around for a while, but what it stands for is something that is true. Doesn't matter if you're in safety or if you're in leadership or you're in sales or wherever you are, it's all the same. People want to know what's in it for me. WIIFM. What's in it for me? That's what management wants to know. When management thinks about safety, and I'm talking management like upper management, like boardroom executives, do they want employees to be safe? Yes. I have never, I'm sure they're out there, but I have never met an executive that didn't want his employees to be safe. They want their employees to be safe. But when they hear safety management, what they tend to think is, that's an added cost. Safety is expensive. What we have to do as managers and as leaders is we have to get in there and say, you know what? No safety is expensive. If you have a crummy safety program, that company is going to be paying through the nose. Now, let me make something very clear, and I'm preaching to the choir. I know you know this. We don't want anybody getting hurt, right? Cost, expense, dollars and cents, that's not the most important thing to me and you. We want people to go home the same way they came in, 10 fingers, 10 toes. We want everybody to be healthy, happy, and coming to work hard. But from a business standpoint, we have to show a relationship between what's being invested in safety and what the takeaway is. And it's plain and simple. You can go on the OSHA website. There's a tool called Safety Pays, and it will show you the cost of an accident. Workers' compensation will show you the cost of an accident. OSHA citations, when you get in trouble, that is an expensive cost of an accident. So as a safety manager, as somebody that's trying to invest in safety and get safety moved up in your company as a priority, keep in mind, safety is not a priority. Safety is a value. And the reason is priorities change. Safety is a constant. It should be there. Now, sometimes it's down here and we need to move it up here, but it should never be a priority. It should be a value of the company, and it should be invested in just like anything else is invested in. If we want to improve distribution in the warehouse, we're probably going to invest in equipment. It never ceases to amaze me. I'll go into a company and they won't have money for safety, but they'll have money for a brand new forklift. They won't have money for, and you just name it, right? And it's because they're making decisions based on what they feel like is the top priority. When we're talking with managers and with leadership, we need to make sure they understand safety is a value, and we need to get buy-in from the upper management so they understand this is going to actually bring money to the table. How does it bring money to the table? Because you're not getting fines, you're not getting injuries, you're not getting increases in your workers' compensation. So that's all ways that you're speaking their language. And that leads me right into this. You need to make sure you can tailor your message depending on your audience. Now, I'll tell you a funny story. This happened. I had a contractor come in. We had a problem on top of our roof where there was some issues with the roof leaking. This is at a company I worked at a few years ago, and there were some issues with the roof leaking. The contractors came to me. They basically said, David, what do we need to fix? And I pointed out, we need to get this fixed, and this fixed. And then it hit me. You know what? We really need to get a railing on this side because we have the potential for somebody to fall off the roof when they're on that side of the roof. Now, a railing is a very easy thing to install for a contractor, right? But I knew that they were there to fix the roof. And so I had them fix the roof. I had them install the railing as part of the same project. And the goal was I can kind of hit two birds with one stone. We can get the roof fixed, but then we can also install this extra piece of safety equipment that we need. And I was thrilled. He did it. The contractor did a phenomenal job. Everything came in. The funny thing was when we went and we were talking, the owner of the company came over and we started chatting about what was being done. And the guy said, we are just focused on safety. We're focused on fixing these roofs for the food. We're focused on fixing this. We're going to do this. And the owner was thinking, I don't know what you're talking about. Because to him, this was not a safety problem. This was a maintenance problem. But maintenance and safety can be the same thing. If we have slippery floors, that's a safety concern. It's also, we need to maintain the building by fixing the floors. If we have, you fill it in, whatever it is, it might be a problem over here in this one department, but if it is potential for an accident, it could be a bigger problem. So safety isn't something that's a standalone. It's always tied into production and maintenance and other things. And because it's tied in all the way around, you need to make sure you're tailoring your message so that you're solving the problem that needs to be solved, and the safety is always a bonus of that. Unless you're talking to somebody where it's not the bonus and it's the primary reason to do it. So, another thing we can do, to get buy-in, you want to involve management in the process. One of the best ways to do this is to have to have managers on your safety committee. So when you have a safety committee, you're talking with a group of employees from all different departments and all different areas, and having a manager in that really helps to find where people's thoughts are in terms of safety concerns. So having management involved in the safety committee is great. Having managers go on safety walks with you when you do safety walks and safety inspections, that is really helpful too. Just saying, hey, come on, take a walk with me. And the key is, we're not trying to point out where they're doing things wrong. That's not the purpose at all. The purpose is for them to have a fresh pair of eyes and be seeing what you see every day. When you can pull a manager on a safety walk or into a safety committee meeting or even into a safety training that they maybe have been avoiding, getting them involved with safety gets buy-in. That's important. I don't get a lot of buy-in when I talk with clients and the upper leadership doesn't come to any of the safety meetings. If they're not involved with safety, it shows they don't really care about it. So try to pull them into it. A great way to pull them in is clarifying what the goals are. Goals need to be proactive, not reactive. So we're at the beginning of the year now. One of the worst goals that I hear is we are going to have no more than 2 accidents this year. We're going to have no more than 5 accidents this year. Last year we had 7. This year we're aiming for 5. That's a horrible goal. It's not proactive at all. You want to have a goal where you say, we're going to have a safety committee meeting every month, and we're going to have one member of management in that meeting every month, a different member every month. We're going to do a safety walk, a standing safety talk once a week. We're going to have inspections in the department being done by the crew leaders that are on the safety committee. Having clear goals that you can track and you can check and you can say, yes, missed it, did it, circle back, we're going to take care of that this month. We want to have clear goals that are being proactive so people know what they need to be working on. Making things visual, getting things in front of managers, that's a great way to get buy-in. So just to kind of summarize, how do we get buy-in from upper management and leadership? Number 1, what's in it for them? You got to make sure you're speaking their language. Tie in costing measures, because a business is not a business unless it's making a profit. So we want to tie in costing. How is safety going to help save us money? Remember, no safety is way more expensive than safety. So we want to make sure that we are clarifying how safety can reduce expenses, because we're reducing the number of accidents, we're reducing the number of violations from OSHA and different regulatory agencies, and we're reducing workers' comp insurance by having less accidents. All that speaks the language of the business. Making sure we're tailoring our message depending on who we're talking to so we know what they value and we can tie safety in where we need to. It's not being manipulative, it's just being smart. You want to make sure that you are doing what they want and at the same time wrapping a nice safety bow around it to get what you want. And then the last thing that you want to do is make sure that you are clearly communicating the goals so that people know what you're working on. If management just sees you twiddling your thumbs in the back and they don't really know what you're working on, they're not going to see it as important. Even if you got 5 different things going on at one time, it really is beneficial to have like a status update to where people know, hey, these are the items that we're working on. We're ticking these off every single day, every single month. So you can't start from the bottom. You got to start from the top. You got to get buy-in from the top. Otherwise, you're going to pull your hair out and be frustrated. And we don't want that. We want everybody to be safe. So until we talk again, do everything you can to keep the people you work with safe, because no one should get hurt at work.